you said the word unique, and that's another big trip, where people want to be unique. We want to be writers, so we have whatever our
Mm,
connotations are of writer, um, and then the next step is, well, now I have to be unique, and
mm,
it has to be the first of its kind, or am I even saying something new? It comes up in a lot of things that bubble up.
mm,
Sometimes I think most people who don't think they have a book in them get stuck there early on
mm,
before they ever even let themselves think about having a book. But then everybody else, I think, faces it at some point along the way where
mm.
you're like, oh, am I actually saying something unique? And what's fascinating about the word unique is that was part of that ridiculous, slimy first company I worked with, is that each of those letters had to be unique, because staffers are just going through in congressional offices and whatever, and they're lumping things in. And if they catch on to a pattern, now it's not a bunch of constituents sending letters. It's clearly this one lobbying force
Mhm.
that had one effort, and then the impact is reduced. I hate that I know all of that. And also, we really genuinely did have to be unique. Each letter had to have its own feel, it had to have its own focus. And what I learned from that is everybody had the same talking points because that was our job.
Mm,
Everybody was writing about the same issues to the same people with the same talking points in the same regions, usually with the same demographic because they were just buying stacks of data, basically. And so everyone was coming from the same exact place and saying the same exact thing, and we still made a unique letter.
mm,
And the same thing is true of your book and of your copy and of your business and of everything else that you're doing. It's not your demographics. It's not your background. It's not where you live. It's not what you do. It's not what you even care about that makes you unique. It's literally just you.
mm.
Just you.
Yeah.
If you show up on the page and are honest about who you are and why you're there, it's unique.
Mm.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and that's the I mean, that's a huge part, and it's a big block for people who wanna write a book and who wanna write in general and put content out, any kind of content, because y for some people, there's this feeling of like, "Well, if I'm not the first to say it, no one will listen," and it's not the case at all. In fact, being first, people may not be ready for what you have to say, right? And so, um, and I thought of this as you were saying that, but and it's not, it's you may have done the same thing as other people, but you got there a different way, and or
Mhm.
you experienced it a different way. And I was just thinking, I went to a large university. I went to Indiana University, and I don't know how many students there are there, but it's a lot. Like I want to say like 30,000, 40,000, maybe more. I can't remember. And so at any given time, like me and 39,999 other people were there at the exact same time, at the same school, attending some of the same classes. But yet, if I talk to them about my experience and they talk to me about theirs, it could be totally different. And it would be totally different. Right. And um, so yeah, I mean, we both could write about our time at IU at the same time, and it would be a different story. And I think that's where and I think also with content, like people wanting to write articles or blogs or podcasts or create videos and how-tos and things like that. Oh, this how-to video already exists, but maybe your style is different.
Yep.
Maybe you look at it a different way. Maybe you explain it differently. Just because someone has created a how-to doesn't mean it's easy to follow,
Yep.
right? And I also think that people creating content, you know, they create it for an audience who needs to hear it, but a lot of times they're not thinking of that audience when they're thinking of the people who know it already, that know more than they do.
Yep.
Those people aren't going to watch it anyway because they don't need it, right? And so I think you have to stay focused and centered on, hey, I may not know as much as these people, but I know more than these people, and these people are who I'm writing this for,
Yeah.
and just completely ignore the other people, right? Because it's not for them. And I think people get blocked so frequently on just comparing themselves to the people who they think know more and thinking, well, they know more. Why don't they write it? Or they're probably already writing it, but they're writing stuff for you because
Yeah.
you don't know as much as they do, but you know more than them. And if they wrote it for you and those people you write for tried to take in their stuff, they'd be lost. And
Yeah.
so I think you have to remember where you slide in and who you're for and who you're not for and be cool with that. Right.